disruptive.
America that I fought for.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. It's been a fantastic day so far. So big, interesting news, and another person announcing a run for president is Dr. Cornel West. Now, I've enjoyed the guy. I'm admirable to him. He is definitely an inspirational person. He's definitely moved me in a lot of different ways. And he announced with this video that I'm about to show you here, and it's a really incredible video, really inspiring. He is running in the People's Party, which is causing a lot of different spurs. Because a lot of people are not okay with the People's Party. Let's just say that. They're okay with Cornel West, but they're not okay with the People's Party, and they're conflating the two, and it's just an absolute slur. But let me show you what Cornel West has to say in his video, and then we'll get into that. But take a look at this, how inspirational this is.
In these bleak times, I have decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party. I enter into quest for truth. I enter into quest for justice. And the presidency is just one vehicle to pursue that truth and justice, what I've been trying to do all of my life. I come from a tradition where I care about you. I care about the quality of your life. I care about whether you have access to a job with a living wage, decent housing, women having control over their bodies, health care for all, de-escalating the destruction of the planet, the destruction of American democracy. Democracy creates disruption. It creates an eruption. It creates an interruption. Wide from below, the energies of everyday people is manifest. And I know there are precious people in your life who you care for. That's why it's important for you to be involved, important for you to participate. We're not talking about hating anybody. We're talking about loving. We're talking about affirming. We're talking about empowering those who have been pushed to the margins. Because neither political party wants to tell the truth about Wall Street, about Ukraine, about the Pentagon, about big tech. Neo-fascists like Brother Trump or milquetoast neoliberals like Brother Biden. Wow, I'm so happy to make a world-shaking decision. You know what I mean? Well, I know gangsters when I see them. And gangster's not a subjective expression. It's an objective condition. Do we have what it takes? We shall see. But some of us are going to go down fighting, go down swinging with style and a smile, accenting the best in you and trying to tease out the best in me. Let's do it together.
That was great. That was great. I even love how they add the jokes into that. That was amazing. And I bet you that was a lot of people's reaction in 2020 and a lot of people's reaction in 2016. That was kind of the reaction I had when, they announced that Hillary Clinton was going against Donald Trump, and I took a long look at that and go, wow, I need to figure out how the hell we got to this point. And that's when I got more involved in, understanding politics and read more about things. And that's how I got introduced to the Young Turks back when they were decentable. When they were decentable, mostly because of Jimmy Dore. But when they were decentable, that's how I got introduced with them. I got introduced with Jimmy Dore, Kim Iverson, starting to watch a lot more podcasts and listen to a lot more political commentators and got more involved into that. And I knew Cornel West through those people. And it's just uplifting. It's inspiring. It's motivating to know that someone's actually out there who's willing to fight the good fight for all of us. And not just do it for the sake of a career punch, or not to do it for the sake of, oh, I just want a fancy title, I want the power, I just want the opportunity to, have my namesake on the throne. He's actually doing it and committed to fighting the good fight, and there's a proven track record for it. So that's awesome. I'm so happy for it. Kudos to him. And he's running in the People's Party, which is a third party outside of the duopoly, which I think is a smart move. I wish, RFK and Marianne Williamson had the gruff to do that rather than committing to the Democratic Party. And it's one of the things that I cringe at with RFK Jr. at that factor, because he's such an inspirational person. He's definitely on the right track to things. Why we'd be staying in the Democratic Party when they know that the Democratic Party is using every might and sword to go against him. I can understand Marianne Williamson. Like, she's good too on certain things. Marianne Williamson's good on certain things too, but I don't think is as half inspiring as Cornel West or what RFK was doing. To have that gruff, to have that, really the moxie, the grit to go out and fight the good fight. Like, that's what we really need. And a lot of people have said good and a lot of people have said bad about this, but I also just want to show you just the power of Cornel West and how much of a motivational speaker that he is, that he's able to really unite people in a multitude of different ways. He's done a lot of media appearances, both on left-leaning networks and right-leaning networks, even though it's all corporate. I don't believe that, left versus right media. I don't really get that point. But here's what he said on Fox News to Tucker Carlson, who Tucker Carlson, I don't strike as a Democratic socialist. I don't think of him as as a progressive or anything like that. He's kind of a run-of-the-mill centrist. But here's what Cornel West said to him that made Tucker Carlson lighten up and actually get inspired by the words by what Cornel West is saying. This is how much of a great speaker that he is. Take a listen to this.
Fundamental commitment is to the dignity of ordinary people and to make sure they can live lives of decency. So it's not an ism, no, brother. It's about decency. It's about fairness. Right. It's about the accountability of the powerful vis-a-vis those who have less power. At the workplace, women dealing with the household, gays, lesbians, trans, black people, indigenous peoples, immigrants. How do we ensure that they are treated decently and that the powerful don't in any way manipulate, subjugate, and exploit them?
Well, I mean, if that's what democratic socialism is, then I'm basically on board. I do think that ordinary people, middle-class people, ought to have dignity. And I think that our current systems make it hard for them to have dignity. So I agree with all of that.
And people ask, how do we get along? How are we going to get along in this, bipolar, fractured society? That's it. You have to remind people that the dichotomy, the BS between the left versus the right is manufactured by the oligarchy. They want us to be fractured. They want us to disagree. They don't want us to be, united together. But as Cornel West reminds us, we all have similar foundations. We all want a stronger middle class. We want decency for every single human being, regardless of, LGBTQ or men or women or what gender you are, or trans or black or brown or whatever ethnicity or religion. We all want decency for every single American citizen and to hold the powerful and corrupted accountable for their actions. Everyone can agree with that. Every single person can agree with that. Whether you're conservative leaning or liberal leaning or progressive, independent, we can all agree to that. And this is proof of it. He made Tucker Carlson say, if that's what democratic socialism is, I get it. I'm on board with it. But because you're being lied to and manipulated by the mainstream media, owned by the criminal class that is used to oppress and control you, they want to put a spike in the unionization of people. They want to epitomize people, segregate them, spit them apart, and have them scream and yell at each other over the most ridiculous BS. So that's one of the powers and one of the greatest things about people like Cornel West and why he is able to heal the country after this divide, especially with the divides of COVID and how that kind of, division that kind of threw us all out of the box and segregate even more of the population that was already divided. It's stuff like this to remind people that we have similar roots, we have similar foundations, we all bleed blood, and regardless of our backgrounds, regardless of, our likes and dislikes, we all need similar methods of survival. We all need clean water. We all need clean air to breathe. We all need, affordable housing. We all need good education. We all need a good job with union benefits and good wages. We all need that. We all need healthcare to survive. Those are the basic essentials of every single person. And if we intact that, regardless of background, ethnicity, religion, and elsewise, it would be a magnitude solution to all the other cultural problems out there. The biggest thing that we can do to help minority communities is to treat them like individual citizens, like anybody else, and give them the proper necessities of any other citizen. That would be the biggest thing right there. Treat them as a citizen. And not discriminate or go after them or segregate them based on their ethnicity, their backgrounds, and their differences. It's like how George Carlin made the statement in his stand-up once that everyone's focused on their differences, but we don't focus on our similarities. And that's pointing out the similarity. That if we all realize that, we all have similar roots and similar foundations, we can grow from that. We may have different answers to different solutions, but we definitely all can unite and realize that we're all people, we're all human beings, we're all working class or middle class people that want to try and survive this world and not be controlled and oppressed by an oligarchy. That seems feasible. So, Revolutionary Blackout Network pointed this out, and this is where the gruff comes in, because there's some individuals, the quote-unquote liberal lefties, that are demonizing Cornel West for running in the People's Party. So he says that Crystal Ball, Marianne Williamson supporter and DNC voter, has concerns about Dr. Cornel West's party affiliation. The People's Party needs work, but Democrats who support Democrats criticizing Dr. West for his party affiliation is absolute clown shit. So, of course, Crystal Ball, who is a notorious DNC supporter and will continue to tell you you have to vote Democrat because that is the most adult thing you can do. Not vote with your conscience, not actually have perception of what you're voting for, but you just got to vote blue no matter who because that's the right thing to do. Otherwise, we get another Trump. Blah, 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 blah. This sounds like any other person of the View. That is her biggest concern about Cornel West, is that he's running in a third party. And Caleb Maupin got to the story of this and pulled up this video. This is Crystal Ball and Kyle Kulinski, looks like going on a road trip together. And they're talking about Cornel West. And this is the problematic concerns that they have about Cornel West. They like him. They really like him, but we don't like him that much that he can run in a third party. And this is the slimy kind of spew that these two are gonna talk about. Take a listen.
Cornel West. I love Cornel West. We had him on Crystal Kyle and Friends.
Yeah, everybody loves Cornel West. And that's why you have to deal with the cognitive dissonance, social media being rigged to tell you to hate the People's Party, and them nominating a guy that everyone loves.
He's a hero of mine.
He's a
Oh, he's a hero of yours. He's a hero of yours, right? You know, so many people love him. You don't want to attack him, but that's what you're doing. You're smearing his election campaign. You're smearing the party that he chose to run with.
Respect him, yeah.
We like him. And look at how her face goes down. Look at how Crystal's. Oh yeah, we like Cornel West. They don't like Cornel West. They don't respect Cornel West. No, they don't respect Cornel West. But they.
It reminds me so much of when RFK Jr. came out against the COVID mandates, and a lot of people were saying that, oh well, I like him that he's a Kennedy, and RFK Jr. has really been helpful with the environmental impacts, and he's been an environmental lawyer ever since. But coming against the mandates is a little too much for me, and that's why I immediately had to hate the guy. Immediately had to hate the guy because he went against totalitarianism. He went against big pharmaceuticals and their measures. So that's why I like the fact that he's a Kennedy, but at the same time, I don't like that he's doing this. It's exactly the same trope. Exactly the same trope. I like Cornel West, but really in the People's Party that gets manipulated by social media, exactly what Caleb Maupin's saying there. Exactly, because third parties get the brown end of the stick.
They know they're not going to gain any points by attacking someone that progressives love. So, oh yeah, we love him. He's a hero of mine. We're so important in our sunglasses. We're so sexy.
I love how he's really good at going into spaces where like people would disagree with him, and making himself be really likable and really agreeable while not.
Oh, she totally means that. Yes, he does an amazing job. She's looking down with her sunglasses. She hates Cornel West's guts.
While not like giving up his principles at all.
Yes, this is the stuff we practiced saying beforehand because we don't want to alienate everyone who loves Cornel West, but we hate his guts. This is what we,
he did a great job on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's just a very dynamic, charismatic.
I'm sorry. He did a great job on Joe Rogan's podcast. You do realize Cornel West has been around for decades, right? He's been doing stuff since the 80s. He was key in getting stop and frisk ended in New York City, leading acts of civil disobedience. That's what you got. He was good on Joe Rogan's podcast. Really? That's what you got, Kyle. That's what you know about Cornel West. He was good on a podcast one time. This is one of the most well-respected Black intellectuals in America, has been arrested many times in civil disobedience protests, as an outspoken advocate of socialism, a critic of the prison industrial complex, someone who's been fighting for low-income African-American people for decades. But, he was good on a podcast one time. And we've been told we can't just take a dump on him. We're going to make this about Nick Brana. Okay. Ugh.
Intelligent guy who I happen to agree with on.
Oh my God. Like, so condescending. Yes, he's a very intelligent guy. Why don't you call him well-spoken too, right? He's a well-spoken, intelligent person, right? I mean, this is such condescending white liberal shit. I saw him on a podcast one time. He did a good job. He's intelligent. Yeah, he was intelligent. I was surprised. Black people usually aren't intelligent, but he was good on Joe Rogan's podcast one time. This is the most smug upper class liberal while they're driving their SUV down.
Why doesn't Kyle bring up the fact that he was on Tucker Carlson's show and Tucker Carlson agreed with him on the basis of democratic socialism? I mean, how about you bring up the fact that he would unite the country together? Considering your white, to paraphrase Caleb Maupin's approach here, your white liberalism, your ideals that you want to unite people together and be on the same rope. Why would you be more celebratory of Cornel West by saying this is someone who can actually unite the country together on the basics of human decency? Like, I love how they say, like, oh, he's intelligent and well-spoken. Yeah, but you're not saying what he's intelligent for. You're not saying what he's well-spoken for. Like, why was he good on Joe Rogan's podcast? Explain yourself. What policies was he introducing? Like, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't complain too much because he's driving and also talking about this, which I don't know. You shouldn't do both at the same time. I think that's kind of borderlines distracted driving. I don't know, but take a listen.
on the highway, mad that someone's running against the Democrats. This most smug, white liberal, condescending shit I've ever heard,
Probably 90% of policy stuff.
Yeah.
So I love Cornel West.
I love him. I love him. Yes. NPR. I love black people. Right. I mean, that's the trendy thing to do now. That's woke. Right. Black Lives Matter. Word up in the hood.
I love Cornel West.
Yeah. I love him.
But honestly,
yes. We love him. We love him. We love black people. That's the hip, cool thing to do now. That's why we're driving down the road. We hate low income Trump red state. We love black Rogan.
Theory on I don't agree on this.
Rogan podcast that one time I saw him talk, and it was just utterly amazing. Oh my god, oh my god, let's go drink some latte.
Theory on this, and I'm curious what you think, Crystal, is that I don't think he looked into the People's Party at all.
Right. I just think this black guy is.
Hold on. I don't think he looked into the People's Party. I don't think he looked into the People's Party. He's so intelligent that he did not look into the party that he's registered to run for president. Like, he's such an intelligent man, but he's so dumb in that one area, and that is why he is an absolute failure. Considering the fact that you two are continuously supporting the Democratic Party, have you really thought hard of why and why you would continue to tell your own viewers that are epitomizing against you because they're calling out your BS? Why would they accept themselves, go through the motions again of voting for the Democratic Party? You know the Democratic Party are absolute failures. That's why a game show host became president. That's why you have a dementia patient as the current president. You have a banana republic run up by like Bernie, Weekend at Bernie's situation. And you're still telling your own viewers to vote Democrat. Go through the motions again. Vote the lesser of two evils. Have you really thought hard about that, Kyle? Have you really thought that hard, Crystal? Because I bet you Cornel West really thought hard about all the trolls of people pouncing against the People's Party, not for the actual policies that they're trying to address, basic human rights, but trying to pounce them on lucrative BS cognitive shit that was cultivated by think tanks outside of the People's Party, in the corporate Democratic hemisphere. Those think tanks that troll on third parties. Have you connected those dots? Probably not.
Is so stupid that he never looked into the party he decided to run for office on. It's not his fault. He's being manipulated by, evil communists, right? It's not the black people that are protesting for their rights. It's those outside agitators from New York City that are coming down there and stirring up the black people. They were all happy before the civil rights movement got going. But, Cornel West is just clearly not intelligent enough to know what party he's running on. It's an evil communist agitator named Nick Brana who manipulated good Cornel West into doing what he's doing. We love Cornel West, but he's been duped.
Maybe you should invite Cornel West to your wedding and talk to him through about Nick Brana and how nefarious of a person he is, even though he worked for the Bernie campaign. Bernie Sanders, who you still gush over and lust over. Still. I used to. But I lost faith in Bernie. I lost faith in him. The same I lost faith in AOC. I lost faith in the squad. I lost faith in all of them because I knew that continuing through the motions is complete insanity. In fact, that's the definition of insanity, is doing the exact same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So, Crystal Ball, Kyle Kulinski promoting insanity by saying, Cornel West is such a crazy individual for running third party. Continue to vote Democrats. Just, I just can't believe these two. I literally can't believe these two. And I used to admire these people. The same way I used to, have a little bit of hope for TYT. That's all gone now. Kyle is now a schmuck. Crystal, schmuck. They're just absolute hypocritical schmucks. Especially it's just so ridiculous. I mean, even Crystal Ball, I should have done that video, but I didn't have time to do it. Where she was interviewing RFK, and then she attacked RFK for not knowing his own research and not looking at things, as if Crystal Ball actually did the research. But then we did research on Crystal Ball and found out that her family has actually profited off of, kids staying at home. They have investments, lucrative investments of, at-home technology. That's why they were promoting lockdowns. That's why she continued to promote the lockdowns way past the emergency official goneness. She's still continuing to promote that stuff. She also has other investments in the Democratic Party. Like, it's so absurd. So absurd. And then to do this, to say that Cornel West is so intelligent, but at the same time, he's so dumb to run in the People's Party because Nick Brana has some tweets about him that are negative. And no one's actually hold them accountable. No one's actually really investigated on those tweets. But, because we read things about Nick Brana, that's automatically we got to go against him. Cornel West is so stupid for running in third party. But he's such an intelligent guy because I heard him on Joe Rogan. I swear. I'm not the sharpest tool in the toolbox, but I swear I can almost run circles around those two. I can run circles around any other mainstream journalist out there. Which is sad and embarrassing. It kind of is embarrassing that someone like me, late 20s, Canadian, in my basement on a shoestring podcast, is able to figure things out more clearly and have more of a perspective than people like Crystal Ball or Kyle Kulinski or any mainstream journalist. The ones that actually went to school for journalism, that had the $60,000, studio set up. The people that spent time and effort and tried so hard. I can run circles around them because I'm not bought into the propaganda. I'm not bought into this machine. I've been skeptical on the whole entire process. I've called people out. I've held people accountable. I'm bringing a fresher perspective. I'm looking at the whole picture, and not just a narrow-minded viewpoint of Cornel West in the People's Party. So, anyway, thanks to Caleb Maupin for bringing that, for doing that video, by the way. So, there you go. I'm happy for Cornel West. I think really he's an immaculate person. He's absolutely a great character. He's done a lot of great work for numerous different occasions, numerous different policies that he's addressed, and he's been a champion for civil rights, a champion for equality for middle-class Americans. He's fought against the war machine. I would love to hear what he has to say about Ukraine. I would love to hear what he says about the COVID mandates. I don't know if there's stuff about him on that. I haven't heard much about him on COVID and mandates, but it's amazing that people don't understand. They rather demonize people in a third party and say that you're a bunch of losers than rather focusing on the fact that you're in a duopoly that's used to oppress you. And the only way out of fighting the duopoly, fighting that corruption, is actually going to a third party. That's the only way we're going to do this. This whole idea of trying to fix it from the inside, or we just got to find the right person within the Democratic Party, it's never going to happen. Never, ever, ever going to happen. It didn't work with AOC. It didn't work with Jamal Bowman. It didn't work out with the rest of the Justice Democrats. They have complete, utter failures to their own constituents. That's why people have to look outside. That's why a lot of people don't register as Democrat or Republican. the biggest voting bloc are non-voters, and the next is independents. But it's just so absurd.